विषया विनिवर्तन्ते निराहारस्य देहिनः रसवर्ज्यं रसोऽप्यस्य परं द्रष्टा निवर्तते. Translation in English. Though the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, the taste for sense object remains, but seizing such engagements by expressing a higher taste is fixed in consciousness. Purport. Unless one is transcendentally situated, it is not possible to cease from sense enjoyment. The process of restriction from sense enjoyment by rules and regulations is something like restricting a diseased person from certain types of eatables. The patient, however, neither likes such restrictions nor loses his taste for eatables. Similarly, sense restriction by some spiritual process like Stang Yoga in the matter of Yama, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyan, etc. is recommended for less intelligent persons who have no better knowledge. But one who has tasted the beauty of the Supreme Lord Krishna in the course of his advancement in Krishna consciousness no longer has a taste for dead material things. Therefore, restrictions are therefore the less intelligence neophytes in the spiritual advancement of life, but such restrictions are only good until one actually has a taste for Krishna consciousness. When one is actually Krishna conscious, he automatically loses his taste for pale things. जी नमस्ते. Text 60 from chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita. Yatato yapi kaunteya purusasya vipaschita indriyani pramathini haranti prasapam mana. Thank you very much for watching and listening me and for liking. Actually, I am reading Bhagavad Gita. If you have interest, then you can listen from me very carefully, peacefully. Thank you. The senses are so strong and impetuous, O Arjun, that they possibly carry away the mind even of a man of discrimination who is endeavoring to control them. Purport. There are many learned sages, philosophers, and transcendentalists who try to conquer the senses, but in spite of their endeavors, even the greatest of them sometimes fall victim to material sense enjoyment due to the agitated mind. Even Vishwamitra, a great sage and perfect yogi, was misled by Menka into sex enjoyment. Although the yogi was endeavoring for sense control with several types of penance and yoga practice. And of course, there are so many similar instances in the history of the world. Therefore, it is very difficult to control the mind and senses without being fully Krishna conscious. Without engaging the mind in Krishna, one cannot seize such material engagements. A practical example is given by Sri Yamunacharya, a great saint and devotee, who says, Salkan, hello, thank you very much for joining us. Since my mind has been engaged in the service of the lotus pillow of Lord Krishna, and I have been enjoying an ever new transcendental humor. Whenever I think of sex life with a woman, my pace at once turns from it and I spit at the thought. Krishna consciousness is such a transcendentally nice thing that automatically material enjoyment becomes distasteful. It is as if a hungry man had satisfied his hunger by a sufficient quantity of nutritious eatables. Maharaja Ambrish also conquered a great yogi, Durvasa Muni, simply because his mind was engaged in Krishna consciousness. Oh, there is no one person, but I'm very happy. तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्त आसीत मत्पर वसे हि यसेन्द्रियाणि तस्य pragya pratisthita. Translation in English: one who restrains his senses, keeping them under full control, and fixes his consciousness upon me, is known as a man of steady intelligence. Purport: that the highest conception of yoga perfection is Krishna consciousness is clearly explained in this verse. And unless one is Krishna conscious, it is not at all possible to control the senses. As cited above, the great sage Durvasa Muni picked a quarrel with Maharaja Ambrish, and Durvasa Muni unnecessarily became angry out of pride and therefore could not check his senses. On the other hand, the king, although not as powerful a yogi as the sage, but a devotee of the Lord, silently tolerated all the sage's injustice and thereby emerged victorious. The king was able to control his senses because of the following qualification as mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. King Ambrish fixed his mind on the lotus feet of Krishna, engaged his words in describing the abode the Lord, his hands in cleansing the temple of the Lord, his ears in hearing the pastimes of the Lord, his eyes in seeing the form of the Lord, his body in touching the body of the devotee, his nostrils in smelling the flavor of the flowers offered the lotus feet of the Lord. His tongue is tasting the tulsi leaves offered to him, his legs in traveling to the holy place where his temple is situated, his head in offering obeisances unto the Lord, and his desires in fulfilling the desires of the Lord, and all these qualifications made him fit to become a Matpar devotee of the Lord. The word Matpar is most significant in this connection. How one can become Matpar is described in the life of Maharaja Ambrish. Sri Baldev Vidyabhushan, a great scholar and acharya in the line of the Matpar, remarks, made bhakti prabhavena sarvendriya vijaya purvika swatma drashti sulabheti bhavaha. The senses can be completely controlled only by the senses of devotional service to Krishna. Also, the example of fire is something given. As a blazing fire burns everything within a room, Lord Vishnu, situated in the heart of the yogi, burns up all kinds of impurities. The Yoga Sutra also prescribes meditation on Vishnu and not meditation on the void. The so called yogis who meditate on something other than Vishnu simply waste their time in the vain search after some phantasmagoria. We have to be Krishna conscious, devoted to the personality of Godhead. This is the aim of the real yoga. Hello everyone. Anybody listening me wants to talk to me? Actually, I'm reading Bhagavad Gita, Adhyay number 2. And completed text 61. No problem. Thank you very much to listening me. Jai Shri Krishna.